Hello, and thank you for tuning out to another edition of Turning for Home here with the Tournament Edge. I'm your host, Andrew Calvano, and what we're going to be doing every week is bringing on new people from the great sport of horse racing, educating the people on handicapping, general racing, and what's new in the sport. This week, a very special guest, the man himself, Dan Torgman, Anonymous Racing, the king of it all. Dan, thank you for joining us tonight.
Hey, man, thanks for having me. The king of it all. I haven't been called that yet. I've been called a lot of things, but not that.
The king of it all, the king of the sport, the bow ties, and of course, Dan, the fedoras. You can't start the show without the fedora. But I'm going to take this off because, Dan, I can't rock it like you, my friend. We got Dan on tonight. We're going to be talking some Equestricon this evening. A tremendous program and a couple days upstate Saratoga Springs City Center in downtown Saratoga, August 13th. That's a Sunday, going into Tuesday, August 15th. Dan, the co-founder yourself, what kind of came to mind? How long were you looking to put this project together? Obviously, there's been a lot of promotion on social media. We've seen it at the tracks. I saw it personally at Breeders' Cup, over at Belmont Stakes, and I'm sure you had it at other circuits and big events as well. But from the day you guys came up with this idea to where it is now, a couple weeks out, just tell me about it. Tell me about the excitement and everything that's been going on.
Yeah, I mean, it's been super exciting. For us, when I say us, it's me and my partners, Justin Nicholson, Catherine Sharp. They're two younger horse owners and breeders. And I connected with them a few years ago, and I could tell right off the bat that they had just really sharp minds, and their hearts were in the right place. And so we just immediately connected. And I think what they did is they started a syndicate several years back. They tried to bring new owners into the game. And what I've been doing for the past 4 years or so, trying to bring new fans into the game, primarily with America's Best Racing. So, when we connected, just one of those things where you start kind of spitballing, throwing ideas out. And we came up with this concept for a convention in which really we could bring everybody together under one roof, make the sport more accessible, bring the fans into the fold, bring the horse players into the fold, let them, do everything from connect with their favorite personalities to air their grievances, which we know horse players, they love to, they're not shy, I would say, at least in terms of making their, their concerns heard. So we wanted to provide a platform that goes beyond Twitter, right? We say beyond 140. Twitter is great for, going and saying, look, this is what's wrong with racing. And occasionally this is how we can fix racing. But we thought we could actually put people together in a building in the same room with decision makers, with influencers, with key horse players, with major, owners and trainers and breeders, put them all together under one roof and see what happens. Let's just, go crazy. Let's have fun. Let's celebrate the sport. Let's give an opportunity to a lot of these entities, from the racetracks to people who provide services and products, to farms, to ownership groups, to syndicates. All of them have an opportunity to make a case, sell yourself, let the end user know why they should choose you, why they should go to your track, why they should breed to your stallions, why they should buy your products. Come into this one space and make the case to all of our end users.
Yeah, it's such a great idea, and obviously, Dan, you hit it right on the head. With connecting out to new fans, beyond Twitter, and myself, when I started the St. John's Horse Report, it was much more than a platform, to talk about horse racing and handicapping and get into this Twitter world. But on the side, the reason I donned the St. John's Horse Report was to get students at St. John's more involved, with horse racing. Immediately with my generation, the college generation, 18 to 22 years old, what we see on TV is this new sort of, preppy sport, the vineyard vines and, the big hats. And that's what everybody in my age is really into. But unfortunately, they don't really see the sport beyond that. And I think that's why the way I look at Equestricon, especially for people my age, because then it really connects you to the true beauty of it all, of horse racing. So I think from that aspect right then and there, with the younger generation, hopefully, Dan, we see it, because I'll be up there myself. Hopefully we see a lot of young people getting in here and connecting, with these big shot people. Obviously Equestricon. We've seen the list. I know Matt Carruthers, Ren Carruthers, from our end, Barbara Bowley and Mike Baychuk. But you have so many people that have such a big influence on the game that this is such a way to connect. And I think that's really big, at least for people, my age.
Yeah, you touched on a lot, and really our core sort of principles and core values revolve around education, engagement, and entertainment. So we want people to come into the space, and regardless of what their interest is, whether it's in handicapping or whether it's in potentially ownership, or whether they're just a fan and they want to meet their favorite personalities, or whether they're very concerned about aftercare, they can come into the space, they can learn more, they can engage with the people that are, the key people within each of those realms. And then there's also a ton of entertainment throughout the course of the convention. So you're not going to be bored. And in fact, the convention runs Sunday through Tuesday. And I tell everybody this, and I mean it wholeheartedly. Like, I expect fully the best night's sleep of my life is going to be Tuesday night, obviously, because I've been running around like crazy for the past year and a half building up to it. But I also think everyone who attends the convention, they're going to sleep really well on Tuesday night because they're going to be totally worn out. There's so much going on. You can't help but be worn out. And you talked about some of the people that are going to be there on the handicapping side. Not only do we have handicappers at every level sort of doing introductory handicapping, tournament handicapping, advanced handicapping tools and products, we've also got Hannah. And Hannah, they have their own horse players for them. So again, where you could get into those issues, we want to celebrate racing, we want to have fun, but we're not running away from the issues. We all know that there are some serious issues that affect horse players, and we want people to be comfortable addressing those issues and addressing them within this space. The other thing is, if you come there, we're going to have people who represent tracks, racetrack executives, the people who make decisions about how sequences are laid into programs, how takeout is formulated and calculated. Those people are going to be in the building. So those people may not necessarily be on Twitter, and you may be making a great point on Twitter. But if you want to actually connect with these people and engage with these people, they're going to be sitting in on those panels. They're going to be listening. So that's the place to go. And we see a lot of the panels being sort of back and forth conversations between the audience and the panelists. So if you're sitting in the audience, it's not like you're just there sitting and listening. You also have a chance to participate and kind of share your perspective on things and what you'd like to see as a horse player, as a fan, as a person who's concerned, again, like I said, about aftercare, or as somebody who's interested in ownership, breeding, whatever it might be. There's going to be something there for you. So we're excited about that, offering that range. And, we're also excited about all the different personalities, including, Barbara, as you mentioned. She's on a couple of different panels. The Tournament Edge has got a booth and has got a pretty big presence there. Mike Baychuk. And then, obviously other personalities. We've got Paul Matisse, NHC champion from last year. We've got Jonathan Kinchin, NHC Tour champion. We got guys like Christian Helmers. I mean, just people, really big name horse players that are going to be there. And, we think that there's a lot of value in it. If you care at all about improving your game, or if you just want to kind of shoot the breeze with some of these people, you'll have that opportunity.
Of course, it's once again it's such a tremendous program, and throughout my time, and I keep going back to it, the Twitter aspect of it, rarely do you meet these people that you communicate with so much on Twitter. But when I've had the opportunity to meet guys like you, like D'Lo and Steven Schwartz, when you finally meet them in person, you get to pick their brains. That really helps you grow as a handicapper. So now when you have these spotlight people that have been successful in so many aspects of handicapping, whether it be pari-mutually or through tournament like we specialize in, I think that through that right then and there, you learn so many different more angles, so many more ways to find a price. Even when I met with Trezza, just speaking, face to face with these guys, you learn so much. And from my experience, all these guys are, and girls, I should say, are down to earth people that you can really, really learn a lot from.
Yeah. And I'm constantly humbled. I mean, when I was in my early 20s, I really thought like I knew what I had to know about handicap, and I was winning. I was doing well. I was like, I had it figured out. And then as you, kind of go through the game and you go through your streaks and you kind of take your lumps and you realize like, oh, well, I haven't figured this out. It's a very tough game. it's always cool to, I still find today that I learn from people regardless of their age. I mean, I've learned from you. I've learned from D'Lo, and it doesn't matter how old you are. There's, people approach the game from different perspectives. Some people are better with the horses physically. Some people are better with numbers. Some people use various products or kind of have a sort of a tendency to kind of lean toward certain figures and trends. And I think it's good to have a well-rounded knowledge of all of it. And so I think you're going to get a lot of those perspectives that are going to be covered through the variety of people that are going to be at the convention. And you mentioned too, like women as well, women horse players, and specifically the trend that we've seen in recent years of really just really strong and just super just intelligent and very just well-connected women who have kind of emerged from the Gabby Gaudets to the Acacia Courtneys. These are, I'm glad to say, some really good friends of mine, in addition to being panelists and people who are going to be there and who are very involved with the program, and who, as people who are also, I mean, they're people first and foremost. They may happen to be women who are handicappers, but as people who are younger and who are interested in seeing the sport grow, they're really excited about, getting in front of a lot of this and being able to share their experiences with people, talk about what it's like to be a public handicapper, and then also share, their perspective and their general approach to handicapping. So there's a lot of that. And just speaking about young people, there's so much programming geared toward young people in general, starting a career in racing, their networking opportunities. Again, if you've ever dreamed of having a job in racing, social media has been great. It's given a lot of us so many opportunities. I mean, I've utilized social media. You utilize social media to really launch your career in racing. But we've got a lot of people that are going to be in the house representing various aspects of the sport who are sort of in our age range, maybe a little bit older, who can help us, who can help us take that next step. And so it's going to be a great networking opportunity for a lot of people who are not only really young, but who are just in general want to start a career in racing, regardless of age. There are going to be people in the building who can help you take that next step. So we've got literally like representatives from an equine career network organization that helps find jobs for people in the race horse industry in general. And so they're going to be there. Just a lot of great stuff. If you go to equestricon.com, you can pull up the schedule. Just so much programming over the course of the convention. And the crazy thing is, and people have asked us how we're able to do this, and I still haven't really figured it out. I guess we'll know when we crunch the numbers. The general admission ticket for 2 days, so literally you get to go Monday and Tuesday to the convention center, is $25. You spend $12.50 a day, and you have access to so much programming. There are different tiers too. I mean, you could go ahead and you could buy a panel pass, which is $125, and then we've got a VIP pass. But your basic ticket that gets you access to so much of this stuff is only $25. And that's just because even if we take a loss at the end of the day, it doesn't matter. We just want people to come in. We want them to enjoy the experience, and we want them to really learn from it. We want them to walk away with a greater love and a greater appreciation for the sport, and to maybe want to come back and say, you know what, I want to do that as a career, or I want to be a more serious handicapper, or whatever it might be.
Yeah, for sure. And, obviously, on Twitter, we see the constant, promotion, for tickets. And I know that hotels included as well. Right now, where can people that want to get involved and want to get in this event and maybe just heard of it, what tickets are still available, and where can people get them?
Yeah, so those general admission tickets are going to be available kind of up to the wire. I mean, we're encouraging people not to wait until the last minute, but they probably could. We're encouraging people to go to equestricon.com, get on the website. You'll see the various packages. $25 gets you into the convention hall, lets you get up close with a lot of the various showcases that we're doing, which will essentially be mini seminars that are going to be put on by ownership groups, by various horse racing betting and ADW outlets, kind of showing you different options for wagering. So there's a lot of that. A lot of educational stuff built into that ticket. You also get access to over 80 vendors, including a lot of farms from down in Kentucky, where if you're from up north, you've probably never had a chance to connect with Claiborne Farm or TaylorMade, where California Chrome is, or WinStar. All of these people are going to be in the building. So if you want to see them, again, $25 ticket, you're in. Racing trivia hosted by Tom Durkin, $25 ticket, you're in. Networking sessions, come to the lounge, go to the bar that we have inside the space, $25, you're in. All of that covered. You go to the website equestricon.com, you'll see what's available for the other tiers, but it's $125, gets you access to all of the panels. We've got over 80 different panels, workshops, seminars, and other events. So a lot of those panels are set aside for only panel pass holders. And then we've got a VIP ticket, which is a higher price range. But if you go on the site, it lays out all the options. You could still get some tickets. Some of the add-on events, the special events, we've got private tours of the museum with Tom Durkin, and then also tours of the sales ground. Those are selling out. So if you wanted to do something exclusive like that, a private tour, if you wanted to do, we have like a brunch with Star Ladies Racing on Sunday. If you want to do that, those are selling out. If you wanted to do on-track hospitality, spend the day on Sunday, August 13th with Matt Carruthers of TVG at the racetrack, it's selling out. So if you want those sort of exclusive experiences, you got to go on there now to get those tickets, because those will be gone probably within a week or so.
Of course. And I mean, what Dan's dishing out here, I mean, to me, just so worth the price, whether it be, just general admission, you get so much, but even to take the opportunity to spend a little more, and get in with, guys like Matt Carruthers and Star Ladies. I mean, so much more. And I mean, this being the first year and how amped up it's ready to go. Dan, I know how hard you've been working on, your team has been working on. I've seen it firsthand. Guys, really take the opportunity, spend the extra couple dollars, whatever it may be. The first event of its kind, Dan, sure to be a great one. So hopefully, we see more people in those different aspects beyond general admission, just so everybody gets the full experience of Equestricon.
Well, yeah, look, we hope so. It's a wide open platform. In fact, when I say wide open, I was just getting an email the other day from people in the harness world. They're wondering, is harness racing going to be there? Is steeplechase going to be there? And we've got a lot of, we have representatives from a lot of different organizations from various equine sports. So I could say that steeplechase will be represented. Harness racing, we'll say we're going to shoot for in 2018 and beyond. But we really want this to be sort of a collective. We all benefit together. I mean, all equine sports could benefit together. That's sort of the bigger picture for this thing, where this event can be truly an international horse event. We want people to come together and celebrate horse sports of all kind. But obviously, the three of us, myself and my partners, we're sort of solely, primarily dedicated to thoroughbred horse racing. So obviously, when you come in, you're going to get a thoroughbred horse racing experience. But in future years, again, we really do have this spirit of, let's all just be cool. Let's just celebrate. Let's kind of come together. And that's what this industry needs. I mean, we're not trying to start a revolution here, but we want to bring people together. And, for once, let's be positive. Let's celebrate all the good things in the sport. Let's celebrate the victories. Let's celebrate people who are doing things right. And let's strive to do better as an industry. And so I think by giving people a voice and putting them in front of the people who make decisions, there's a better chance that we can reach that goal of coming together and kind of solidifying the industry a little bit.
For sure. And obviously, trying to get harness involved and steeplechase involved, in the future would just add on, to what is already an amazing event. We should have Barbara Bally joining us in just a few minutes here to talk more about Tournament Edge's involvement, our booth down there at the convention center. Dan, before she comes on, just kind of give us a breakdown of the days, I guess. I assume Sunday is a meet and greet in town, something like that, before the actual panels on Monday and Tuesday?
Yeah, Sunday is events around town. You nailed it. It's events around Saratoga. I mentioned a couple of them already. So that's Sunday, August 13th. You have access to adding these experiences. These experiences are going to range from tours of the National Museum of Racing and Hall of Fame with Tom Durkin, tours of the Fasig-Tipton Sales Ground. Fasig-Tipton is one of our sponsors and real big supporters. So they're awesome. And if you've never been to the sales ground, it's a really cool experience that actually happens to line up with the New York Bred Sale. So you're going to get to be there during a sale if you go and get involved with that tour. You've also got, as I mentioned, a brunch in the morning with Star Ladies Racing to learn about ownership. There are going to be various local businesses there too. And Saratoga Springs has just been absolutely awesome, incredibly supportive. So, it's an opportunity for local businesses to come out and kind of showcase their racing products. A lot of it's going to be obviously fashion items and accessories and that sort of thing. But, if you want to go out, have a nice brunch before you start your day at the races, you can do that. We've also got, as I mentioned, hospitality on Sunday. You can come out and you can get tickets for the races through us. And then we'll also set you up with an experience where you're sitting at the track with Matt Carruthers from TBG, with Ren Carruthers, who's actually our social media manager at Equestricon. She's been absolutely awesome, super, super passionate.
And Dan, not to cut you off, but Ren Carruthers, just one of the nicest people, in the industry, 100%.
Yeah, no, he's phenomenal. I mean, they both are, Matt and Ren. And, I think that's what we've done too. I think we've really strived to bring just good people together, people who get it, who get that we need events like this to give people, to give fans, to give bettors an opportunity to engage with the sport. When you think about it, like when I think about being, younger and like just going to the races and even being in my late teens and early 20s, like I remember going to Saratoga when I was like 19 or 20 and I got Jerry Bailey's autograph. And I remember like going home, like I lost like $100, which for me at 19 or 20 was like devastating, right? Like I lost $100
Yep.
and I was like, oh my God. So I remember calling my dad on the way home and I said, he's like, how did it go? And I was like, well, I lost $100, but I got Jerry Bailey's autograph. So that was kind of my take on it. So, I mean, those kinds of experiences really would build your love and your passion for the sport, I think.
For sure. And Dan, obviously you don't leave Saratoga without a story, you know what I mean? And obviously at 19 years old, yes, Dan, losing $100, it does kick you down, but Barbara Bally has just joined us, the co-founder of the Tournament Edge. So we're going to kind of fast forward this segment into the Tournament Edge's involvement. Barbara, you can take it away, and Dan, you can hop in. I'll just kind of sit back here. I'll let you two handle, TTE and how we're involved and what our booth's all about up there in Saratoga.
The first things have to go to Dan. Talk about experiences at Saratoga as a young person. I was born in Saratoga, so not only did I have my first experience in life in Saratoga, my poor mom had to give birth in August, in the heat of August. I still feel so bad for that poor woman they dragged up there. My dad was going to buy some yearlings at the sale, so that's where they had me too. Anyway, but it's an awesome place to be. I just want to thank you, Dan. As you can tell, I've been in this business since day one. Literally. I was thinking about this earlier today, and I can't think of anything as exciting. Maybe the Breeders' Cup years ago, but anything, as new, creative, and exciting for all of us, it would be hard to find something to match Equestricon. So I just want to thank you for the incredible amount of work, and TTE is so proud, the Tournament Edge group is so proud to be part of, working with you on this, and Michael Baychok, the NHC champion, and myself, who are both part owners of the Tournament Edge, are going to be both on panels about how to get into tournaments and have a handicap, and I'll be on some other things. And we're going to have a nice booth for everybody to come by, get some knowledge, get a lot of seminars, mini seminars, just little talks that we'll be giving away to coach you and so forth. So we've got a lot of things going ourselves at Equestricon. It'll be a booth. Andrew, you promised me that this would be a booth that would be exciting, because I know you're, as the young person with the legs, you're going to be part of the excitement and the giveaways and all the nice swag we have for you, and knowledge and information and meeting people that you'll really enjoy getting to know, especially if you're interested in handicapping or in handicapping contests. And so I want to thank you, Dan. After that long thank you.
Well, it's a pleasure for me to actually kind of see you. We've spoken a lot over the phone. We've exchanged many emails. So it's really neat to kind of connect with you face to face. I look forward to eventually seeing you in person in Saratoga. So and look, everything you said, I mean to be mentioned, to have this event be mentioned in the same breath of, as the Breeders' Cup, and that sort of thing. It kind of just, makes you take a step back. I think when my partners and I came up with this concept, it really was as simple as, we know there's an appetite out there. We know people who love horse racing. We know people who are constantly asking us, hey, how do I make this bet? Or or how did you come up with that horse? How did you figure that out? And, can you show me how to handicap? Can you, how do you get into ownership? How do I, if I want to own a horse, how do I do that? So we knew that the people were out there who kind of were craving this, just information, people craving information, craving sort of really genuine and authentic experiences where they can, kind of meet face to face, talk to people who had more information, who could really, really satisfy that appetite. And so, really, that's what this event is built around. It's designed to really, give the end user, and the end user who, for whatever reason, as an industry, we may have overlooked over time, to give them really genuine opportunities, again, to use the key words that I mentioned with Andrew a minute ago, opportunities to genuinely engage with the sport, to give them opportunities to kind of develop an education on all these various, topics of interest, from handicapping to ownership and everything in between, which includes, aftercare, which is a big thing for us, which includes even racing photography. You see how many younger people are getting involved in the sport through a camera. So many people, I go to the track and there are all these people at the track now with a camera, and they're taking pictures because, the horses are so beautiful to photograph. But look, if that's the entry point, that's great. We want to encourage more of that. And we want people, if that's what's bringing them in, that's phenomenal. Let's do more of that. Let's let people know how they can get more involved. And, let's bring out the best racing photographers. So we've done that. We try to bring out the best within every, sort of subsection of the industry. And as far as handicapping goes, and as far as tournament handicapping goes, we certainly think we've got some of the best people in the game with you guys on board.
Oh, thank you. I agree with you. And in terms of what I'm seeing is your mission for Equestricon, and it works very closely with what our mission has been for the Tournament Edge, which is at thetournamentedge.net, by the way, online. It's free. Almost everything on there is free. Just a lot of information from experts. People really want to know more, and they want an easy access point to find it. And this in-person situation at Equestricon will be an amazing way, the richest way possible to interact with others. But we also have other kinds of opportunities in racing, and we put together a website, but we'll also be there. Michael Baychok and I and the other members of the Tournament Edge, who are all handicappers and tournament players. And again, particularly Michael being the national handicapping champion of 2012, the only $1 million winner, and myself being the only $100,000 online winner as a female, and got a pretty good rep as a female tournament player. So I'll be talking about some of that, how to get involved in tournaments, which are very interesting, easy entree for people. And we'll also be getting involved in some more complex, strategic kinds of offerings for you too, through some coaching. And again, we have a lot of things to give away, and some of that will be in coaching sessions with experts, which you can't get very easily in venues other than the kind we're offering up at Equestricon. So we're very excited. We're I haven't been to Saratoga myself in a very long time, so I'm looking forward to it. I think it's been decades, and I swore I'd go visit the hospital where I just at least see where I was born. I guess it's Saratoga General. I don't even know if it has a good reputation or not. Anyway, I should take a picture of that. Talk about
it produced you, so it has to be near the top. But yeah, it's funny you say that, and we've heard from so many people who have said either A, like you said, I haven't been to Saratoga in so long, I wanted a reason to go back. And B, I've never been to Saratoga. I've always wanted to go, and this convention has given me a reason now to go. And again, that makes me step back and think like, wow, I'm just floored that it's reached as many people as it has. We actually have people registered from almost 35 states now. I think we're up to 34 states.
Wow.
So obviously nationally, people are responding to this. We got people coming in from like Wyoming. And I didn't know that Wyoming was a racing state, but we've got because we can see where they're registering from. So it's really cool. We got people coming in from 5 different countries so far. Like we've got Dubai, we've got Hong Kong, we've got the UK, and a couple of others. and our goal with this is to make it ultimately sort of this global, really truly international convention. But first and foremost, year one, I think we've bit off quite a lot, and I'm confident that with the support really of organizations like the Tournament Edge, like a lot of the other organizations that are participating, that it's going to be a really successful thing. You mentioned, hey, come by the Tournament Edge booth, because you could come by and get an education, all that, but you also got to come ready to like pick up all the different pieces of like swag and just different things that people are going to give out, because you could go home with about a 20-pound bag, because we've got so many different vendors in the building who are going to be giving stuff out. And I mean, a lot of it's really cool. It's going to be stuff that you could only get there at the convention. Also, I saw somebody from Sim Horse Racing tweet out a photo yesterday of these little like squishy horses that you could get, these little toy horses.
Yeah.
I mean, I want that stuff. I don't know that I'm ever going to see it, because I'm sure it's going to be a blur for me. But I would love to get one of those, and I would love whatever it is that you're handing out. I want that too.
We'll reserve one. They'll be there's a lot to give away, but it'll be popular. But we'll make a swag bag for just the Dan, name with a magic marker on the front. Don't worry.
Can we get Dan a Tournament Edge bow tie? Can that?
Awesome. That's awesome.
I'll be in charge of that. I'm taking care of that.
Okay.
It's gonna be it's gonna be a clip-on.
No, it can't be a clip-on.
It's gonna be a clip-on. Dan has to shame himself, wear the clip-on bow tie.
No.
We do a lot of instructional work like that through video too, so it's kind of an inside joke. But we'll do one on how to tie a bow tie for Andrew. And we'll do the real thing only, Andrew. It's Saratoga. No clip-ons. Come on.
Gotta do a big well, Dan. Thank you for coming on tonight and giving us, so much insight on Equestricon. Like I mentioned, I'll be there, Barb will be there, Mike will be there, and the whole team of Tournament Edge and many, many others from so many different aspects of the sport. This is a must-go-to event, and like Dan said, for only $25, I mean, it's so worth the trip, and especially if you can get your hands on some of the packages that are still out there. We'll be promoting on our end to make sure that we see you guys up there in August 13th to the 15th. So Dan, thank you for coming on. Barbara, thank you for everything that you've done with the Tournament Edge and getting us up there as well.
Thank you.
Guys, thank you for coming on.
Have a good night.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Bye-bye.
Thank you, guys.